What is going on, my Lemon Nation? Today we're going to be discussing a theory for Scream 7. Guys, like this video, subscribe to the Lemon Nation, as well as turn those notification bell buttons on because it truly helps the channel out a lot. Get notified on day-to-day basis on the new Lemon videos coming out. But guys, let's get started. So my thoughts are this. I know I've put a theory out there going back, kind of saying like, hey, let's go back to the events of Scream 4. And the more I thought about it, the more I was just like, you know what? Radio silence kind of messed that up for us. I believe Kevin Williamson and Wes Craven had something awesome that they were going for there that they truly could have made possible for the franchise as a whole to make it something unique, different, and of course continue the franchise with Sidney Prescott all the way through. But to get into it, the beginning of Act 1 will start 6 weeks after the reveal of Detective Bailey, Quinn, and Ethan. Gail is in the hospital in New York City. She wakes up from a temporary coma, not realizing what had happened. She hears that Sam and Tara have left New York City and Tara transferred to a new school. They are now free of Ghostface. For now anyway. Gail is healing from her wounds. She is being watched over by police officers, and one of them asks if she needs anything. A nurse stops into the room as well and asks her the same question, but she says no. Gail turns on the TV, watching the news and seeing what happened previously. She gets angry and shuts the TV off. She finds her phone next to her and sees a text message from Sydney. Sydney replies, "I will fly out there soon. Mark and I want to be there for you." Gail denies and says, "Please don't come here. I'll be okay." After a few hours of rest, she wakes up to a phone call. She reaches over and looks at the screen, and it says Dewey as the caller ID. She answers it. She hesitates for a moment, briefly looking around with a sinister look on her face, and then she answers it. Gail says, "Who is this?" Dewey's voice. And this is where things get really interesting. We kind of go back to the events of Scream 3 where Roman had the voice changer and was able to download multiple different variations of people's voices. So in Dewey's voice, Gail. Gail says, "Dewey?" Dewey's voice, "Why didn't you stop me? It would have been better if it were Tara, not me. I'm the only one who could have saved you." The voice changer defaults. Ghostface, "Hello, Gail. Did you miss me?" Gail, "Please, not again." Ghostface laughs. "It doesn't stop until I'm dead, Gail. You'll have to kill me first. And you had your chance. Now it's my turn." The phone hangs up. She hears the sound of something falling and grunting noises coming from the hallway. She suspects something is wrong and gets out of bed to investigate. She is obviously in pain, but can move around just enough to make it out. She walks out into the hallway as she peeks her head out the door. She sees the officer that was protecting her laying on the ground bleeding, as a man wearing a devil ghost face mask is standing over him. She gasps and quickly goes back into her room. She quickly turns off the light and walks over to her bedside where she sees the assistant button. She clicks it over and over again, but it isn't working. She grabs her phone, but it dies on her. As she turns around, Ghostface appears through the hospital window trying to open the door. He bangs on the door, trying to break in, over and over and over again, with each bang getting louder and louder. Just as she stops screaming and calling for help, Ghostface barges in, breaking the door down. He's holding the iconic Ghostface knife while walking towards the other side of the bed. Just as he's about to spot her, the nurse comes in. She is startled and screams loudly. Ghostface quickly slices her neck. She falls to the ground, choking on her own blood. Gail pops out from underneath with an empty toilet bowl, mimicking Jill Roberts from Scream 4. She rushes over to try and knock him out, but suddenly, a gunshot with a close-up on her face and a sudden bang. She stops and looks down at the bullet that hit her stomach. She falls to the ground and Ghostface is holding the gun. He points it at her head closely and is about to pull the trigger, but suddenly releases his finger from the trigger and stops. He throws the gun onto the ground and takes his knife out and stabs her over and over and over again in the chest. He takes out his voice changer, just like Roman used. We hear Dewey's voice saying, "You could have stopped me, Gail." But then, he changes it to the Ghostface voice. "But you didn't, did you? I've been waiting a long time for this." He puts the knife up for one last stab as she screams with her last and final breath. The knife slashes onto the screen, revealing Scream 7 logo. There are so many different things that I love about this trilogy, and I do feel like that if Gail was our first kill, this would be the reason why Sydney and Mark actually come back to the franchise. This meaning that they can go ahead and give Neve Campbell the salary that she deserves, and we can complete this trilogy strong and continue out the franchise in a way that I think is going to make this so much more unique and so much more fun. This meaning years down the line, if they wanted to go ahead and make a Scream 8, Scream 9, Scream 10 if you truly wanted to, you can eventually bring back Tara and Sam and see if things are kind of calming down in the sense of there being less tension between the actresses and the companies themselves. Now, I do believe that this is actually an interesting opening scene, and it continues out from where we left off in New York City with Sam and Tara, and gives us a reason to kind of move those two characters to the side and bring back the OG people and really run off on a story that makes sense. Even with this opening scene, you can still fit in the mother of Sam and Tara as well as the father. And also, this being said, the killer could be Stu Macher. But guys, that is for another video. Yes, this is a great way to bring back Stu and give us something that is going to be really exciting, yet you would still understand from the dialogue of Ghostface and what he was saying to Gale at the beginning, towards the end, that basically he says that you had your chance to kill me, but you didn't. So what do you guys think about this theory? I think there's a lot of different speculations going around, but if you did enjoy this theory, like this video, subscribe to the Lemon Nation, guys, as well as turn those notification bell buttons on, because I have new videos coming out every single day, pretty much, as long as I'm not sick with the flu. But guys, that is all I have for you today, and don't forget, Gerald,